You can always run.
Greetings, YouTube. Dark Swordsman here.
I'd never forgive myself. No way. Not if I ran away now.
In this case, we're not doing the conventional walkthroughs or anything like that. In this episode, we are going to be looking at my top 10 toughest bosses. And as you can see on my screen right now,
this is our story.
I have got the first one that I have chosen to pick. Now I know Fuzzfinger did his top 10. Well, I say top 10, he basically picked his top toughest boss for each Final Fantasy. Mine is slightly different. I'm going for overall throughout all of Final Fantasy. So some Final Fantasy bosses Final Fantasy games might have more bosses popping up than others. And my first pick is going to be none other than the Lady Lunalesca. With it being a 3-stage fight, her ability to blind and silence, and on top of that, hell biting us as well. And with her deadly Mega Death as well, it makes the 3rd stage of the fight incredibly difficult, since you're stuck between having to fend off Mega Death and then trying to survive against her other attacks while not being able to heal because of being zombie. Conversely, if you get rid of the zombie, then you put yourself at risk of getting hit by the Mega Death. So it's a bit of a tough one to deal with, and that is why it has hit my top 10 list. She can be an absolute pain in the butt, not gonna lie. She also, as you've just seen here, has the ability to absorb health as well directly. And just to show it off, I just got counted there. It didn't have reflect up, so unfortunately it went through. And she has a relatively high health pull as well. And that is why she sits firmly in the 10 slot. But what else makes a tough boss? Well, stick around as we go through the rest of the list, and we shall explore it together. Okay, so for our next boss, we are going over to Final Fantasy XII. Now, in order to sort this one out, I have had to go onto my YouTube channel and find previous footage, hence why right now you're looking at my desktop. So without further ado, let's reveal who our next boss is. Forgive me for me to sit through this. I would edit it out, but I have no idea how I suck at editing. Our next boss is none other than Ultima Weapon, the Esper. Capable... Just fast forward this a bit. Let's actually get our boss up on the screen here. Our next boss then is the Esper Ultima. Capable of sieving through multiple different barriers, so to speak, from blocking our ability to use physical attacks, to blocking our ability to use items, our ability to use magic, and so on such forth, making for a very irritating boss. He's also got a relatively high health pool. On top of that, getting to him is also a bit of a nightmare, since you have to traverse the Great Crystal, or as I like to call it, Hell's Labyrinth, because it really is an absolute nightmare. As fellow YouTuber Fuzzfinger will attest to. In fact, I do recall making him chuckle on his stream actually when I called it Hell's Labyrinth. But yeah. So as you can see here, it's taking pretty much everything I've got just to stay ahead. Obviously I do beat him. This is from my walkthrough that I did some time ago, although I am thinking about redoing it at some point. But anyway, that aside, so he's also got a very powerful holy attack, which can do a heck of a lot of damage. He can also be faced in the trial mode, but not until quite far up the trials. Which is another reason why I've had to do it this way, because unfortunately all my save datas are not where I need them to be, unfortunately. Bit of a pain, but it is what it is. Okay, so what boss do we think will be in the number 8 slot? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out. Yeah, so let's crack on into the next boss. Again, sorry, I have to do it this way. Unfortunately, I don't know how to edit, so I do apologise, folks. This was the only way I could think to do it, but I will look to improve on this in future. Okay, we have Dark Yojimbo, found deep within the caverns of the Stolen Faith. Now, why did I choose this boss to go in the number 8 slot? Well, I have chosen this fight because you have to defeat him a total of 5 times in order to actually successfully completely destroy him. On top of that, he has quite a high health pool, and he has some pretty devastating attacks if you're not prepared to deal with him properly. Only being able to defeat him with Dark Yojimbo earlier on, with normal Yojimbo earlier on, tongue twisted there, I do apologise. He does also have his perks, for you can actually farm him for the break HP limit, as well as the almighty ribbon. Going to give you guys a demonstration of the fight, just as I will try to do with the others, although one of my picks I'm going to unfortunately have to go to YouTube for again because I seem to have misplaced the cable for the PS3. Right, let's see here. I am not 100% certain as to whether this team is up to snuff or not. I think it is. Sod it, let's find out. Oh, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to hit him or not. Now, usually with these fights, the Dark Aeons, it's usually recommended to use an ability that my unit does not have for some strange reason. Okay, not unit, sorry, Riku even. Perhaps I haven't quite finished Riku's grid here, perhaps, I'm not sure. But the ability that we would normally use, if I can find it, here it is. The quick hit ability, making it much more likely to land a blow. As you can see, Yojimbo is still standing pretty strong, and you're also needing ridiculously high luck in order to be able to hit him, because his evasion is so horrendously high. So it tells me I'm probably going to get beaten here, quite frankly, because I'm yeah. He's not playing nice. Well, it actually depends on what you get the basic idea. I just wanted to see if I could get him to show off a few more of these abilities of his. Got him down below halfway now. But yeah, so that's what makes him my number 8 slot. There we go. Like I said, one shot my entire team there. Unfortunately, Auto Phoenix does not work when he one-shots. So that's our number 8 slot. Our number 7 slot will be taking us back to Final Fantasy VII. And this next one actually did give Fuzzfinger a little bit of trouble, actually, thinking about it. For this one, I think I am going to have to use my old YouTube walkthrough though, because, again, I don't think I have any saved datas that are near it. So, let's continue.